reason why do not really know that Excel has a background programming language that can actually help them to do some exceptional things that those pre-built functions cannot actually do. When it comes to automation, you give it to VBA. Now, we're also going to look at how to prepare the workbook for VBA. In other words, how to save it as VBA-enabled worksheets, right? Because once you are programming on that worksheet, then there is another format you are to save it. We're going to look at that. And then we're also going to look at how to record macro. We're going to start by knowing what is macro. And then before we look at how do we record what? Macro. Then we'll look at how to format record for macro. All of this will look at how to stop the macro recording. And then we'll also look at how to view the created macro, and then how to run or execute the macro. And of course, the last practical we are going to do in this session will be how to create absolute or relative macro references. All right, so without wasting our time, let's quickly dive into the main topic. Right, so we're going to start with what is macro? What is macro? What is macro? Now, but before that, sorry, let's look at what is VBA. Let's look at what is VBA. So, like I said before, VBA is a programming language that is used to program on top of Excel. So, you cannot actually use it without, linking or connecting to it through either Excel, Word, PowerPoint. So all these, there are VBA. So let's look at the full meaning of the VBA. The VBA represents Visual Basic for Applications. Visual Basic for Application. And what does that mean? It's a programming language built into Microsoft Office application. And of course, when we say Microsoft Office, we are talking about Microsoft Word. We are talking about Microsoft Excel. We are also talking about Microsoft PowerPoint. But I will be training us on how to use the VBA programming language on Excel, right? Because that is one of the places where it's more useful when it comes to report modeling, when it comes to creating automation. I believe some of us must have seen some data structure in Excel, probably where you are working, where you notice that once you input a value in a particular column, it automatically subtracts itself in another column. And you see it updating the data real time. That is going beyond the normal Excel. So in that case, you can create a VBA that can be automating the entire data system. So Microsoft Office application, like I said, such as Excel, Word, PowerPoint. So in Excel, it allows users, I want us to take note of the keywords I'm going to be using here. It allows users to automate tasks. These are the core function of Excel VBA now. To automate tasks. In other words, there is a time for it. You don't involve Excel VBA if your activity or your operation is just entering one value, series of value in a column, and you just want to sum them up. No, it is when you want to create an automated system. That is when you can involve it. As we proceed, you are going to see how we'll be able to create automated system that if you are good at this, you can start making money. You can create this model for businesses and then sell it off for them to be using to automate their entries. So build tools I said it allows us or users to automate tasks, build tools, and extend Excel beyond its normal capability. So I've already summarized that before, that if you want Excel to go beyond the pre-built function that we are all conversant with, you need to learn what? VBA, so that you can create your own tool for performing different tasks, so that you can customize your own function other than the ones that are already in Excel. All right? So think of VBA as Excel what? Brain. I'm really trying to simplify it. So anytime you hear VBA, always think of it as Microsoft Excel Brain. All right? That lets Excel perform actions automatically. That is where we derive the word automation from. Automatically, instead of you doing them what? Manually. Instead of you doing them manually. So as an advanced user of Excel, you can create those things that you do all the time. Like the practical we are going to look at in this session, you will see how we will have programmed series of steps that we ought to be repeated or repeating in a program, in a function, such that anytime we want those series of steps to be repeated, we just click on the button that we must have attached the programming to, and that will automatically give us those outputs. So one thing you should take home is that VBA is for data modeling automation. Simple as that. So let's quickly look at what VBA can do. So here I'm really trying to highlight some of the things, and all this that I'm highlighting here will guide some of the practical we are going to go through. All right, so we will get to a session where we go advanced, and then we bring in some AI tools to help us to get some of these instructions available for us for any type of automation we want to achieve. Now, what VBA can do: automate repetitive tasks. You see the keyword there, repetitive. So any task that you know that you ought to be repeating. For example, there could be a certain part of my record or my data set where I want to, once I get to where maybe I have a sales inventory, and I have the sales inventory constitutes different columns. So let me just mention two columns. We have the customer name column, and then we have their balance. And now once I get to a particular customer, and I want to, and maybe there's a way I have structured it that all the customers that are owing me beyond or above certain value, they are to be identified with certain appearance, just like what we learned under conditional formatting. So I will have used VBA to program that instruction. So once I get to that customer, I don't have to start, highlighting the entire row and then going to color, going to setting those appearance. I will just implement it there. So when I get to another customer where I will have started the whole process again, because I've used VBA to program it, there's no point of me repeating it. So that is what we are talking about when I said automate repetitive tasks. So VBA can perform routine actions automatically, such as cleaning data, formatting sheets, copying and pasting data, generating reports. Then this saves time and reduce errors. All right, so we're still highlighting what VBA can do. Now, another capability of VBA, Excel VBA, is it can create custom functions. That is the tools that I highlighted before. Custom functions. So you can customize your own function to what you want. Because every business model, they are supposed to have their mode of operandi. They're supposed to have the way their data are structured. A man that is selling food, his own data structure will be different from somebody who is, doing another business or selling building material. So these are the things that a company can call you and say, okay, they will highlight, you get a brief from them, they will tell you the challenges they are facing. Then you come to Excel and build an application using what? VBA that can be solving those problems for them. They might say they want to generate receipts from every sale. You come here and also use VBA to create that receipt generator. So there are a whole lot of things we can do. And I can tell us that 80 to 90% of Excel user does not know that VBA, they don't know about VBA because sometimes is difficult to train. It's not everybody that knows it. So a lot of people just bypass it. And apart from that, there are some average learners that may not want to even go into the programming aspect of Excel. They are more familiar with the user friendly. That is why most time in training center, we don't even reveal it, except we have people who want to really go extra mile. So you can write your own formula, which is also known as what? User-defined function. So it has an interface that will give you an access to write your own formula. So that is one of the advantage of it. So example of that, you can write a formula to calculate your bonuses or risk scores. So depending on the kind of businesses you are into. All right. So I'm only trying to highlight some basic things. So another thing you can do with the VBA is to build custom applications in Excel. VBA allows you to make Excel behave like a full software application by adding buttons. We're going to see all that. So I can create a button to approve certain function. So, you can create a button and then the Excel will start behaving like a website. Just like when you get to a website, you click on, let's say, the About button, About link, and then takes you to a different domain. And then you click on service, it takes you to different domain. All right. So you can see that within Excel, you are operating as if you are within a website interface. All of this can be achieved with the Excel VBA. You can create menu, you can create form, you can create interactive form for entry. I can create a form that when you come to Excel, you don't need to be typing in those columns. Column A, you write something there. No, I will just click on the button to bring out the form, and then I'll fill the form, click on submit. It will automatically insert the record in the worksheet. So these are some of the things you can do with the VBA. You can create fantastic dashboards. So it depends on how you want to go with it. All right. So like I said, it's a programming language. So when you are learning programming language, do not always feel that it's going to be that easy, because it's different from application. All this while we have been learning the application aspect of Excel, but this is programming. So most of those programming terms will still be surfacing here. Thank God that we just graduated from Python. So many things you have already probably established them. Now, another thing we can do with the Excel VBA is interact with Excel objects. We can use it to interact with Excel objects. When I say Excel object, we're talking about the workbook, the worksheet, the cell, the range, the chart, the pivot table. You can interact with all of this with the Excel VBA. So now let's quickly look at some practical. So like I said, this is just a kind of introduction, and I don't want to do much practical for this section, so that we can go and understand the program and then also practice the practical we are going to implement before the next class. It's very important when you are learning the programming language, you don't rush it at the beginning. Okay, so let's look at some of the practical things we want to achieve in this section. So I'm going to start with macro. So that is your starting point. That is where you should start from, knowing what is macro. So if you go for an interview and they want to find out whether you know Excel VBA, just imagine they ask you what is macro. You don't know what macro is. In fact, if you don't know macro, is as good as you don't know VBA. So what is macro? An Excel macro is a tool that performs a sequence of actions automatically. And what did I said is the whole essence of a VBA, to automate things that you will have been repeating. You just create a program that each time you need them, they will react on their own. So there's no way you can achieve that without going through what? Macro. I hope I'm communicating. Please, can I get a response?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So just before I continue, I believe we are all aware that there's 3 days computer mastery pre-training or webinar that I'll be holding from on the 19th to 21st of December 2025. It's just 6 days away from today. So that session is actually going to address anything that has to do with computer foundation. So if you have any loved one who have learned advanced, but they skip the basics, please tell them to join them. Even if you are in this class and you did not learn the basics properly before entering the advanced, I can tell you that whether you like it or not, there will still be some challenges you are going to be facing until you settle the basic. So that class is actually customized for people who are coming into the world of IT for the very first time. So I am going to introduce them to general computing. There are a whole lot of information you need to know about the word computing or the word computer. Then I'm also going to expose them to Microsoft Windows. Of course, is an essential part everybody must understand before you start using application. But there are a whole lot of us today that are using Microsoft Word without understanding the operating system. There are some that are web developers that do not even understand how the system operates. So during that section, all of that will be addressed. And then, of course, I'm still going to blend internet, how to use some of the AI tools in between. And I'm also going to expose us to Microsoft Word, of course, expose us to Microsoft Excel basics. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the class. So now we understand what VBA macro is. Now that we understand what is macro, so we are going to look at the practical we are going to look at in this session is we are going to learn how to record macro. How to record macro. Now remember, let me take us back. We said macro is an Excel. I said what? Macro is a tool that performs a sequence of actions automatically. So let me open Microsoft Excel and then so that we can combine the practical with the slides. So I will be switching from Excel to PowerPoint. Once I explain it in PowerPoint, I will take us to Excel, or I will just go through the practical steps, make sure you are writing them down, then I can come back to PowerPoint and allow us to get the definitions. So let's quickly go to Excel and see how we can record macro. So I'm going to open a data set. All right. So I'll start by opening a data set. Let me open this data and see what I have there. So on that data set, I will now record macro. In other words, I'm going to record events or actions that are meant to be repeated to be operating automatically once they are needed. So let's wait for the data set to open. So while we are waiting for that, if you have any question, you ask. So in case you are interested for the free training that I just mentioned, the number that is displayed on the screen just call that number and then you will reach out to me. I have people already that are joining the group. So there's a platform, there's a WhatsApp platform, and we have limited because we have already created sponsor ad for it. So we have limited number that can join. So if you have anyone, reach out to them to log into that WhatsApp platform on time. So let's say we have this data set. So I'm going to illustrate some of the things you will have been doing manually that the Excel VBA is going to exempt you from. For example, if I'm just using this as an example. Let's say I have gross income here, this data set, I have gross income, and I'm going to focus on gross income and city. For example, I want to format any gross income that is above certain value. I want to have a way of recognizing them. Or maybe I have a salary payroll where I am computing the list of employees from different states. And once I enter someone's states, let's say data, I want to program an appearance that once I enter data, I'll call a VBA appearance, a program that you must have developed with the VBA to format that data record with a unique appearance. So in this case, let's just say you are supposed to highlight the entire cell and then, row, and then click here just because you want to uniquely identify this particular record. So you have your criteria. The criteria can be Mandalay, and then I get to another Mandalay here. So which means that ordinarily, if I don't know Excel VBA, I get to another Mandalay here. I'll click here, and then I'll come here. You can see the way I am repeating. So these are actually what VBA will solve for you instead of you repeating. So you can see that the same thing. And then I get to another place where I have Mandalay and I want to replicate the same appearance. That is wasting of time. If you understand Excel VBA, just go and record a macro for it. So let me clear everything and show us how to achieve this swiftly with the VBA. So I'll highlight the entire data set, just clear format. That did not clear format. Clear format. All right, so let me go back to the PowerPoint. Now we understand what a macro is. Now let's look at how to record an Excel macro step by step. But in the first place, when I started, I said, we are going to learn how to set up, how to activate the VBA development environment. Remember that when you are dealing with any programming language, you must have an IDE. Thank God that we are coming from Python background. You must have an IDE that helps you to write your code and test the code. So the VBA, for us to access it, they're going to call what? A developer interface. A component that it comes with that most time is not always active by default. So how do we bring it? Because you discover that your own Excel, you will not say, good, this particular one now, there is no what? That VBA developer is not here. So how do I bring it? Is the first thing I'm going to show us. If you look at my, I'll take us back to Excel. If you look at, this is what I'm talking about. Now, number one, I say what? Enable the developer tab. So you need to bring out a particular component that houses the VBA we're talking about. So if I go to Excel, look at the step here. You go to File, select Option, you click on Customize Ribbon. You will meet it on check. You just simply what? Check it. So let's go there and verify now. So I can check, I can see here now, I have it already added. If you check your Excel now, you will not find this tab. You will not find it, except maybe you have added it before. So it's not always there by default. So let's assume that it's not there. How do you bring it? From the step I highlighted in my PowerPoint slide, you go to File. So from File, you go to Option. From Option, you select what? Custom ribbon. And then you allow it to display each item. You notice that in your own, this place will be unchecked like this. This developer will be unchecked. So all you need to do is just to what? To check it and then click OK. That is all. So once you do that, you discover that what? The developer tab will be added. So let's go there and remove it and see. Option again. Custom ribbon. And then let me remove it and click OK. By the time you come back, the developer tab has gone. So let's go back and activate it. Custom ribbon. Custom ribbon. Where is this? Okay. Click on it.
It's
And then
down. It's down.
I've seen. You have question? Mrs. Oikosi, do you have, you said you were saying something, sorry. Or were you trying to assist me to find it? Okay. You want to say something?
No, I was saying that developer is still down.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so now we have it. All right, now that is one option. Now, if you don't have this developer, you can get it through View. Just come to View and select this. Simple as that. Let's assume that you are struggling with how to activate the developer. Just go to View and then access it. So the one I'm going to do now, I'm going to use what? The View. So when we get to the intense part of it, you must deal with what? The developer. All right? So what is the first thing I want to do? Like that scenario, that's illustration I gave. What I actually want is that I want to be formatting certain cell with red background and certain what? Maybe text appearance. So, but I want to program, I want to record a VBA down, waiting. So that once I get to that particular record, I will just select it and then what? Activate what? The macro. And the macro will automatically format it based on what I have programmed. That's the automation. So what are the steps? You click on one of the cell. Let's say I want to start with this. You click on one of the cell and then you go to view, like I said, and then you go to macro. Now, the first thing you do, you click on what? Record macro. And that will give you what? A dialog box like this. Now, you name your macro, please. And when you are naming your macro, there are principles that are to be adhered to. When I go back to the slide, I will show us those principles so that you can write them down. One of them is that if you are going to use 2 words as the name of your macro, make sure that the first letter, we call that camel case. I believe you understand that from Python. We call that camel case. All right, as what? After the first word, the beginning letter of the subsequent word should be capital letter. So, but I can decide to what to say, okay, let's say, based on the task, always name your macro according to the task you are assigning. So what do I want to assign? I want to highlight certain cell. So I will say what? Highlight. So this macro is to highlight what? Cell. All right. Now, you can decide to attach a shortcut, a button. You can see when I said with Excel VBA, you can create your own function. All those Control S, they were created using this logic. So you can say your own now, this particular task you want to perform. Each time you want to implement it, you don't want to be going to where it is to run it. You want to use a shortcut to implement it. But this is my advice for you. If you use Control plus S, just know that it will override the existing Control plus S. So don't be surprised after you have programmed a shortcut here, and then next time you want to use Control S, you keep getting different results. So you have to be careful with the combination. Make sure that it shouldn't be any of the existing shortcuts within a cell. That's a condition. So for example, now, if I say what I'm doing, I'm holding that shift because I have control there already, Control plus Shift. So I say Control plus Shift. I'll click inside here. I'll press Control plus Shift. B. You see now, because there is no command, there's no shortcut already in Excel that is using what? Control-Shift-B. So I program it that anytime I need this macro to implement, or anytime I need the macro, I will just press Control-Shift and B. Now, you will specify where will the macro live. You must specify where the macro will live. So there are options here. So we are starting with what? This. As we proceed, I'm going to show you how to use this very one. But let's start with what? This workbook, which means that what? Your macro is going to live within this workbook. If you open another workbook, you cannot access it. But when we get to this, you will now see where we can create a global macro, a macro that when irrespective of the sheet you are or the workbook you are, you can call the macro effect on the current worksheet. But for now, I'll make it here. Then you can add description. Description is optional, actually. I can go ahead and click OK. So description is what? Format, just a kind of word that would tell you what you are actually doing with this macro. So let's say formatting rows with let's say certain appearance. Now, once I'm done with this, I'll click what? OK. Now, the moment you click OK, now it's recording. Whatever you do, if you like, start clicking, it's recording it. So I will now start recording the format. So I'll select this. Go to home, and then I'll select the background color, choose the text color, let's say this, and then maybe slant it. So all this, the macro is recording them. So that whenever you want to do all this that I did now, remember that I highlighted the cell, and then I came here to pick color. These are the steps you will have, repeated if you start working with another one. But I have recorded all these steps in my macro. Now, you need to know that the macro is recording at the background. So what do? You go back to the view and go to macro. You will now meet it saying what? Stop recording, which means that that is recording. So I stop the recording. So that is one thing. So if I take us back to the slide now so that you know what we are talking about. So preparing the workbook is when we are done, we're going to save it as what? Enabled what? Macro version. So this is actually the step, the highlight of the steps that I'm going to go through. You can see where I created the shortcut optional and then store the macro. Now let's go back to Excel so that to not confuse you and finish it. So now that we have stopped it, now the next thing is how do I execute the macro? To execute the macro, I will first of all clear this so that I will know whether it's working. So I'll go back to my home and then select what? Clear. I'll clear it first. So I want to test whether it actually recorded what I did. That's why I removed this one so that I will be sure that if it brings it out, it's that very one that I recorded. Now, you will now go back to view again, go to macro, then you click on view macro, you see the macro you created. So all the macro you are creating will be automatically listed here. That is why I said you should use a descriptive name so that each time you come to this macro list, you always know, oh, this macro is for this, that macro is for that. All right, so you can delete. These are tabs that are self-explanatory. You can edit, you can
sir.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, can you shift your display? This thing is covering. I'm not seeing the option where it's covering where the macro is.
I've done that. I think I've done that. You should be able to see it now, right?
Okay.
I'll move this up. Okay, so now I want to execute the macro. So I'll click here. Let's say you select the particular cell. Let's say just like the way this one is selected. So this is where I feel that the macro appearance should format this row. And I don't want to go over the steps again. So I'll just come here because I already created the macro for it. So I'll just select the macro and select run. So you see that is working. All right. Now, if I come here now, so, okay, I want to format this row. probably this row also meet the criteria for having this format. And then I go back to the macro again. Then if I click and I run, it will not run. You see what is happening now? It cannot select this particular one. Is not selecting beyond 1. And that is why we have to learn the relative reference. The relative reference. So the relative reference is where, irrespective of any row you select, you want to put the macro, it will format it. So let me clear this. Let me create one for that relative. So this is another avenue for us to look at it. Now, for relative, remember the difference between this one that we created is called absolute. I think I've spoken about absolute argument and relative argument before. The one with $sign, the one without $sign. So absolute means that time you selected the whole of this, you have said that this macro should record only on that row, It shouldn't record on, that is absolute. You lock it there. Then when you say relative, that's what it can be dynamic. It can be dynamic. That is what we are saying. So how do we quickly fix that before I allow us to practice all these things? How do we fix that? Let me first of all delete the macro, and that will now teach us how to delete the macro. To delete the macro, remember I told us you go to what? View, select what? Macro, view it, then click on it, and then select what? Delete, and then you click. Then you have to go back to your home and then clear that format. So let's look at that relative macro. How do we work with the relative macro? All right, so the first step is just like what we did. You have to start by selecting an active word row, and then you go to view, and then when you get to macro, you don't go straight to record. You select this option that says use relative reference. You activate it like this first, then you now go back and start your recording. So that is the meaning. Now I'll give it a name. Let's say what? Highlight. Highlight cell. So I want to create a shortcut for it so that we also confirm the shortcut. The shortcut, I can say Control Shift M. I don't think there's any function like that. So I want to do away with description like I told you. You can do away with this, and then you click it. Then you start your formatting because right now it's recording. So let me go back to home and then start applying my format, probably the color, add my italic. Then you have to go back to view and stop the recording. All right. Now let's verify whether the macro is working. So I'll go back to home first and clear the format first. Now, to implement it, remember we just created a shortcut. Now, let me show you how you can use that shortcut. So that shortcut is actually saving us from going to view, coming to macro, going to view macro, select it, and then what? Run. So because I created a shortcut, I can use the shortcut, which is what? Control Shift M. You see it now. That's what I pressed. Control Shift M, and it's giving me the function. So now let's check whether it's actually relative. Let me select another row that actually meet that criteria. Control Shift what? M. You see, perfect. So you just have to understand how to create absolute macro and what? Relative macro. So I'm going to allow us to practice. When I come back, I'm going to show us how we can assign the macro to a button. That instead of you going there, we'll create a button here that whenever I need the appearance, I'll just click on the button and then the appearance will show up. So you can see the level of automation. This is just the beginning. The program is actually interesting. If you take your time to learn it, you can actually develop automated system for all these supermarkets and the rest. Any questions so far before I allow us to try what I'm
Yes. Yes, please. The shortcuts, I don't know, it's not working on my system. I don't know. Can you go through the process? Control Shift.
Okay, I'm coming. Just give me 1 second. All right, sir. You were saying that you repeat the shortcut,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So let me record another macro. So I want to leave this one. So I'll go to view and then select this. Then go to, remember that's relative. So I'll click here first and then go for record macro. So let me give this one, let's say color blue. And then the shortcut, you click inside that box first. Then you have control there already as constant. So you now do control shift. You hold down the shift button on your keyboard and press the letter, let's say letter K. Did you get it now, sir?
So I don't need to press control. I will just press
No.
shift.
Control is already there. So just for
Okay.
you to add shift because you're only trying to make it more
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's work now because I was pressing control shift
All
before.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you share your screen? Let's see what you have done there. Let me see what you are doing. Share your screen. Please, while that is going on, let me comment.
First, before I start recording my macro.
Yes, you have to
Okay.
be on. You don't need to select the entire row. You can just make sure that you are on one of the active cell. Just click on one of the cell. So that is the condition, not until. But if you want to highlight an entire row, fine.
Okay.
But it requires an active cell to be implemented.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know why
so
she's not in yet.
now,
She user.
sir?
I don't know whether she's the one bearing user or is your.
No, it's me. It's me.
Okay, I think she has replied that we should go. Okay, all right. So we'll continue. Maybe she will get the rest from the video. Okay, go ahead,
Okay,
sir.
sir. So now that I've highlighted, do I need to put the color first before I start recording?
No. It is the
Okay.
process of putting those color that you want to record.
Okay, good. So now, okay, I use relative.
Yes. Then
Then I'll start
recording.
recording.
So once you have activated the recording, then you now go and start. Just give it a name, click OK, then you start those formatting. So whatever you'll be doing
Okay.
after this is recording it.
Okay. Mhm.
So Ikosi, welcome back. I hope you are trying your own over there.
Okay. So I've given it a name, I've gotten a shortcut.
Yes. Then you click
I've
OK.
put description. Okay.
Now, we start the formatting. Start the format. Whatever you are doing now is recording. So that is why you have to be careful where you are clicking. Whatever you are doing now is recording it. Then when you are done formatting, then you go back and stop it before you go for the implementation.
Okay.
Mrs. Oikosi, please, I want to hear from you. Are you there? I hope you are doing the same thing. You can't hear me. Okay. Good.
Okay. So what next, sir?
Now you go back to home and
I have stopped the recording.
yes, go back to home. Go back to home tab. Go back to home tab. Home. Go back to home tab.
Yeah, I'm on home now.
We are clear. Go to where you have editing. Clear. By your so you delete this one. Want to know whether if you apply it will bring out this appearance. Oh yeah, click on it. Click on where you are now. Have you?
Okay.
Then click on clear format. Yes.
Good. So now, while
Okay.
we clear this, we want to know whether the macro is working. Now, you will now go, you use some letter, right? You use shortcut, right? Or you press that shortcut. That's control,
Yes, sir.
something, control shift or whatever, or you press it and see whether it will bring out the macro you recorded. Perfect. Now go to another. Now,
it did.
now highlight another cell. Now, let's say you want to apply this same appearance to another row. Just leave that row. Go and select another row. Press the same shortcut. Just go a little bit away from that one. Good. Yeah, select. Just click on the letter 10 so that okay, good. Just click on letter 10 so that you highlight everything. Click on the number 10.
Okay.
Click. Good. Or yeah, press that shortcut again. Perfect. Now, yeah, click on another one. Let me show you the other way around. Highlight another row. Highlight another row. So let's say you did not create shortcut. Now you go back to view again after you have highlighted. Go back to view. Go back to view again. View. Yes, sir. The macro. Let's assume you do not have shortcut. This is what you'll be doing. Then click, then select view macro. Select view macros. Select view macro. Then make sure that the very one you want to apply is highlighted. Though you have just one now. Now click on run. Click on run. So you can see that it's either you go this way or you create a shortcut. I hope it's clear now.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So let's proceed. Now remember, I was about programming another appearance. I think let me do that one so that we know that we can actually go beyond one macro. So depending on the set of automation you want to program. So let's say I want to recognize this particular row based on female. I want to, create an automated appearance for it. So you highlight that cell and then you go back to you can go to the developer. You can see it now. If I want to get it through developer now, and then I'll see my record macro here. But
I'm not seeing. So,
you are not seeing my screen?
sorry, sir. I'm not seeing your screen.
Okay, stop sharing. Stop sharing your own. Please stop sharing your own. I think you should be able to see it now.
Yeah, I have stopped.
Can you see mine now?
Yes, I have stopped sharing.
Well, can you see mine?
Okay, yeah, I can see it now.
All right. Now, I was
Yes,
trying
I
to
can
go.
see your screen now.
I'm trying to go the
Yeah.
other way around. The one we just did now, we went through view, right? Now, since we have added our developer, so this second one, I want to do it from developer, which is the main place where you are supposed to see it. Now, you can see which one do you want to record. I want to record what? Use the same word, relative. So after this, before I will now click on what? Record. So once I click on record, it will ask me for the name. So this one, I want this one to be blue formatting. So let's say what? Blue formatting. This one is blue formatting. Then I want to assign a shortcut. It's optional. So I can say shortcut. Control is already active. I will say shift, or I will say shift or shift L. I don't think there's any function that exists with that shortcut. So make sure you are mindful of that. Then specify where the macro will live. And then specify the word, brief description. Let's say what? Blue formatting. All right. So once I'm done with this, I click OK. Then the recording is on. Now, I will now select this one. Let's say this one. Then go back to home, and then bold them, give them what? Different background. And then probably what? Different text color. So when I'm done, I have to go back to the developer and click on what? Stop recording. You can see either you go through view or you go through developer, I'm getting the same thing. When we start going advanced, that is where it will not be compulsory for us to come here. Now, I want to use the shortcut. So I'll first of all try to clear this so that by the time I apply it, I will know if it's actually working. So I'll go to clear and then clear format, right? Now the shortcut was Control-Shift-L, or let me go through the normal routine. All right, so I'll select any, since it's a relative reference, I'll select any. It mustn't be where you applied it. And then, of course, I'll go to developer, and then I'll click on what? View what? Macro. You can see the shortcut there, alternate F8. Then this is the one I want to apply, and then I'll click on what? Run. Perfect. All right. So the next thing, you can see that I have programmed multiple appearance. So it is not left for me. Once I get a particular record and the record meets the criteria of any of them, I will just what? Call my macro. So that has saved me from repeating the entire process. So if I should take us back to the slide, so you can see that indirectly I have applied, this is where I highlighted the steps for the sake of documentation. So, and I also explain where this store macro in, choose where the macros what will live, either this or the store macro globally, which I said I'm going to look at in the next class. Then the description, optional notes about what the macro does, and then you click OK. All right. So I was talking about,
Yes, sir.
okay, you have question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is
Yeah,
the
sorry. My question is this. You are talking about the criteria now.
Hmm.
For instance, like this data set we are using, I'm a
Okay.
little bit confused. So,
Okay.
what are the criteria we are using? Because the essence is so that, for instance, now what I understood, or rather what I'm trying to understand about trying to do is, okay, I want to highlight, I want to give Yagon, anywhere Yagon appear, I want to give it a red appearance.
That's your
So
criteria.
I'm asking now, that's my criteria.
Yes,
So
that's your criteria.
how is it playing out here now?
Okay, now the way it's
Okay.
playing out there, let's
I would have
assume.
expected that when we do this thing now, when I record one, every other Yagon should appear red.
No. Remember that
Is
is
that not how it's
no,
supposed to play
no.
out, sir?
Yes, that is how it's supposed to play out. But remember, we have done conditional formatting. What we are doing now, we will use macro, if that is the case, to do if statement. We have not gotten there. Where we do if statements. So we have not written any conditional statement that we know what you are doing. So it's a gradual process as we are going, you will get to understand it. I just want to start from the very basics. This is the order at which you are supposed to learn it, so I understand where you are going. So we'll get to that aspect where we'll program it in a way that anywhere you find Yagon, format them with what? This. So we'll learn the programming ourselves, but which we have also done with what? Conditional formatting. So that one that we learned was programmed already in Excel and attached to that function. So I believe that is where you are going. We'll get to where we'll start going that advanced. All right, so I still have a few things I want us to look at before we call off the section. I was about showing us out. Okay, let me take us back to the slide. I want to make sure that I touch everything I highlighted in the slide. So perform action you want to automate. So this is what, remember that these steps have been settled. At that point where you start the recording, you now highlighted background color, text color, that falls under this. Anything you want it to record, you ought that ought to be repeated, you exercise it. That is what it's saying. All right. Then deliberately, the record captures every action. That's why I said Once you start your recording, always make sure that you are not clicking on unnecessary things. Otherwise, that will be recorded as part of the steps for achieving that. All right. So the next thing is stopping the recording. It's part of what we have done. We're only trying to explain them from my slide. So you go to the developer, you stop the recording, and then you run the record. You go back to developer, you select macros, select what? Run. All these steps, we have executed them. Now, view or edit VBA, you press what? Alternative what? F11. That is, if you want to call it back, you go back to that view. All right. So now going back to the Excel, I still have some. I want to look at this one. We have also covered it, important record option, where I talk about the absolute default. That is why if you do not click on that second option, it means you are using absolute. What do I mean? If I go to view now and I come here, all right, and if I go to view and I come to, I'm doing this in PowerPoint. Remember I told that what is in PowerPoint is also in Word. So let me go to Excel. If I go to view now and I select this and I start my recording, it means that automatically I'm working with absolute. That is why when we wanted not to go with the default, we have to click here first. So that is what I'm trying to explain to us from my slide. And I'm also trying to define them. Click use what? Relative reference before recording to record action relative to what? To the active cell. Better for what? Reusable macros. So you see it now. All right. So,
Sir. Yes, sir. One question, sir.
Okay.
A question for you, sir. So we can record more than like from when the last this thing you did now. So we can record more than one event.
Exactly. I think
in
I'll
a
put
worksheet,
in a worksheet
as many as possible.
All of
Do we
them.
have limit?
No limit, sir. No limit, as far as I know, except if there's a new development.
Okay.
In the world of ICT, what you know yesterday may not be what you know today. But as far as I know, so let me not say there's limits. There's no limits. All right. Okay. So I just want to do some few things. Now let's assume that I want to create a button. I don't want to be going through the shortcuts. I don't want to be going through the view before I execute my macro. I want to use button. Like now, we have created this macro. So I want to create button for each of them. Whenever I need this red background, I click on a button. Whenever I need this, I click on a button. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create that button. I'll go to insert, use your shape to create your button. So let's say my button is this shape. Then let me create it here. So let me find out if, I'm recording. Okay, I am. All right, so let's say this is my button. So I can double click on that button and write, just to give it a label. I will say, okay, maybe this button is for red BG. Right? So I can even try to help myself and give it red so that once I'll use the color to know the format it is. Now, after you have created the button, you right click on that button and select what? Assign macro. It will list out all the macros you have created. So let's say this is the one, I think is this one. And then I will now click what? Okay. So henceforth, the button is already there. So if for any reason, now we have not saved, so we have to save. That is what happened. I try pressing Ctrl S. Remember, I talked about the sheet where you are preparing, where you are creating your macros, must not be saved as usual. It has its own format for saving. Any sheet you are using to develop macro, there is a format for saving it. I hope that this should not crash this process. I ought to have not to use Ctrl S. So let me give it some time. If it doesn't, good. Now, ordinarily, any sheet where you have developed macro, you have to go to File, then select Save As, choose where you want to save it. Let's say I want to save it in Document, Browse, choose your document. Now, when you get to this place, this Save As format, you don't save it as workbook. Once your sheet has macro, you cannot work with this. If you close this now, by the time you open it next time, you won't find whatever you must have done. So you click here and save it as this, Excel macro enable book. That is the format. You save it. All right. So now I want to implement this. So let me highlight this row and I click here. You see it now? Faster. I highlight this one. I'll just click on the button. So that is how to attach your macro to a button. Any question? Or you want to try? Any question? Mrs. Oikosi, hope you are here. So let me give us 2 minutes to try it. Create that button. Assign
So I'm
your.
here, but
Okay.
you know,
You are
I was
lost.
not there
Don't worry.
before.
You watch the video. But have you done the first one? I think the first one, you were following us now. Have you done any one?
I'm in some stage. I
Okay.
get confused in after Control N and OK. What next to do is where I got lost.
If that should be the case, while I'm waiting for Mr. Joseph to apply this very one, go ahead and share your screen. Let's try and see if we can finish one before he finish practicing this one. Share your screen.
Okay, sir. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So look at what I've done so far. I don't really know.
Okay, so let's start with programming that basic macro. Now, highlight one of the row. Just highlight one of the row. Let's be fast so that we can finish it before it's ready. Good.
I've highlighted it.
Now go to view. Go to view. Click on view. All right. Now go to macro. Now we are using the relative one, the one that we can repeat. Good. Now we go back again. Go back to macro again. Then you start your recording.
It's recording already. Should I stop the recording? You know, I've done.
It's like you were doing it before. You have not come back to stop the recording. We have stopped the recording. So let's.
I've stopped it. I should start afresh.
No, what we do now? Let's go there and delete those ones that we have done. Click on that macro. Let's be sure that we don't have anyone running. Click on macro. Select view. The first option. Please make sure you are not faster than me. Click on it. Good. Then click on delete from the option by your right hand side, so that we'll be sure that yes. Okay. Now let's start afresh now. Good. Oh yeah. Let's go back to view macro. Go back to view macro. Are you there? Macro. Yes. Click on it first. Click on it. Go back.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Where are you now? Go back again. Click on record macro.
Record macro.
Yes. Oh yeah, start format. Oh yeah, sorry. Give it a name. Just give it a name. Maybe red formatting or something. Give it a name. Don't use capital letter. There's a principle. And the first one, I'm talking about camel case. Only the first letter should be capital letter. The rest should be small letter. That is the standard.
Okay.
They should be together. Don't leave space except you want to put underscore. Then if you want to create shortcuts, if you want to create shortcuts, there was no space before. If you want to create shortcuts, let me know if you are ready. If you want to create shortcuts,
I'm ready.
now if you want to create shortcuts for implementing this macro, remember that there's control there. Just press shift and any letter that you know that will not align with any of the existing shortcuts. So let's say shift, just hold down shift button and the K. I don't think there's any function like that. Shift K, good. So that will be the shortcut. Now,
I've done that.
now go to
Okay.
the description section and describe what this appearance will be. Let's say what format with red background. Just type something like that. Format with red background. So that you know that, oh, this macro is to format certain part of your entry with red background. Format with red background. Format with red background. Have you done that? Now click OK. Click OK.
Yes, sir.
Now, once you click OK, you start recording. Now, where I go to home and start giving the sheet the row, background color, text color. Where I start doing all this. Whatever you are doing now is tracking it, it's recording. Now, give it background color first. And change the text color to white. Change the text color to white. Change the text color to white. Okay, let's say for now. Let's italic, bold, italic, good. Now, all these steps has been recorded, right? So these are the steps that you will have repeat as you go on. Now, let's go back to view and stop the recording. When you are done formatting, you go back to view and stop it before you can apply it. So you click and then macro, then stop recording. Now, once you have stopped recording, then you click on another, select another row. Since we are using a relative, select another row. You press that shortcut, that Control Shift K. Abi? Control Shift K. That was a shortcut you created, right? Good. You can see that it's working.
Yes, it's automatic.
Good. It's
Okay.
working. So at least you've mastered this one now. So let me just round up. Let me just round up. Maybe if I give another classwork, though we're almost rounding up, today we will not spend too much time.
But from this one, before you get to the bottom part, because I get the bottom parts.
Okay, good, good. Yes.
After this one, is there any other one?
No. This was the one we did last.
Okay, we just go to insert.
Yes. We just go to the start and create your button with shape. Just select shape and pick anyone for the button. Shapes. I can
shape in this.
under where you have illustration. There's shape. I'm seeing shape here. Shape. Yeah, up. No. You pass it. Yeah, good. Yeah, click. Pick any shape you want to use as your button. Just pick anyone. Pick anyone. Oh yeah, come to leave the
pick
data.
one.
Leave the data. Come to an empty side and drag to open that shape. Click and drag. No, you are now right click on that shape. If you want to write text on it, you just double click and write. Just type. No. Just double click and write. Oh yeah, type. Don't worry. Type. Just type in case you want to write a brief description on the shape. Are you typing? Type anything on the keyboard now. I want to see if it's working. You are not typing. Are you with me, ma? Are you with me? The network. Mr. Joseph, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's round up. She will get the rest. I think she's having she can't hear me again. All right, so if you want to delete this particular button, if you want to delete the button that you have linked, if you click on it like this is what you have. So you right click on it and click outside so that to make it editable, you just press delete in case you are encountering any challenge of such. Now, I think I have touched what I plan to teach, the little practical I want us to do. Yeah, I think we have settled that. Let me go back to the slide because I know I highlighted what I actually want to cover in this session. So let's confirm if we have actually executed all the objectives. General introduction, how to, yeah. So that brings us to relative macro. Yeah. So this is where I want to stop. And there's a reason. It's the first class. And I don't want to go too much so that you go and digest this. So what you do is this. You go to Excel, get a different file or this same data, then try to record more macro, do different things that ordinarily that you will have repeated. That is the essence. So once you master this, I can assure you that the next class, which is 3 hours on Saturday, definitely, I don't know if this Saturday is the 19th because this Saturday, okay, our classes are usually in the morning, so it will not affect our classes. I think next Saturday should be on the 19th, which is for the free 3 days, the 3 days training will start. So it will affect our class because it's always in the morning. So good 3 hours on VBA next class will really go far. Will really go far. Will really go far. We'll get to a point where we will start working with some conditional functions to get so many things automated. All right, so if you don't have question, I was supposed to.
Sir, please.
Go ahead, ma.
Hello. Last week you didn't send the class video. I even
Serious?
tried
Jesus.
to send it. You didn't send it. Yes. So
Mr.
this
Joseph,
one now,
can you confirm that?
I'm in the stage of typing.
Wait, hold on. Mr. Joseph, is it true I did not send the link? Maybe he has.
You send it, sir.
I did
I
now.
think you sent it.
When you reminded me, I now drop it, ma. Maybe you did
Check
not
your
check.
phone. He didn't send it.
Jesus.
He didn't send it.
Okay, anyway, I have where I'm piling all the link. Maybe I will just drop everything there.
What is there? What you send there is a data analytics class. Is what you send there. Data analytics Friday,
but how come Mr.
Thursday
Joseph,
classes.
how come Mr. Joseph got it? Mr. Joseph is not in data analysis class. So.
Let's Mr. Joseph point at it. Let him point at it now.
Please, Mr. Joseph, help me. If
let him go to the group and point at the video.
Yes, if it's not there, there's no problem. I have a place where all the links I'm recording them. So when we are done with the whole class, I'll give us the file. All the classes as we are taking them. I have a compact. But if you could not bring it out, I will repost it. There's no issue. I just hope that I uploaded it. All right, so please we stop here. So like I beg us, help us.
Can you do me one favor now that my network is okay? You told me to write on the button. So after writing, what else will I do?
Okay, share your screen now. Let's see. Share your screen there. Share the screen.
Okay. Okay, I'm sharing it. Can you see it?
Yes. Now, okay, you have been able to write on the button, right? Now click outside and select the button again. Click outside and select, click outside first. I want to make sure that you are not on the right top. It's the object that we are linking to the macro, not the right top. So click on the shape itself. Right click on it direct. Just
now.
right click. Yes, right click on the shape. Right click.
Oh, okay.
You are not right clicking. Your right clicking is not, you're supposed to bring out more options than what's. No, that is not right clicking. You are not right clicking. You are pressing the middle button somehow. No, you are not getting it. You are not getting it. You are pressing the middle button as you are trying to right click, or maybe it's your laptop. So you have to right click properly. When you right click, it will show us list of so many items. That is not right clicking. No, you are pressing the so try and get the right clicking. Let me show you what you will get once you get it. Let me show you here so that I can. Let me create shift. Let's say this.
Let me stop sharing now.
Yeah, stop sharing. I'm already sharing mine now so that you can see it. Can you see my screen now?
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes, I'm seeing your
So
screen.
you right click. When you right click, you see what comes out. You see what comes out. Then
Okay.
you now go to, once you right click, you will see assign macro. Assign macro. I don't know why I'm not seeing mine. Good. Can you see this option? Assign
Yes,
macro.
sir.
Once you can see it, you will see the list of those your macro. So you pick the one you want to attach. Then you click OK. Now, once you step out now and you click on this, you see any cell that you select now, any row that you select and you click on it to format it. Do you understand it? So it's not difficult. So just try and make sure that that when you right click, those items are coming, and then you select assign macro. Think that is all right?
Okay. It will only work for one button, Abby.
No, now each macro to each
It
button.
cannot work for the two different colors.
No. Each design with its own button now. Each design.
Okay, so I have to create another button with another color design.
Yes, exactly. Depending on you, or the button stuff is an option. It's optional rather. If you like, you access your macro with your shortcuts, or you go there, or you use the button. So I'm only trying to give us different options. Hope that is taking.
Okay. Please try and send the video today. Let me.
Yes, I will.
Do something.
I will.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so let's continue to invite our friends to join that free training. Please, we need as much as possible. Thank you. Compliment of the season.
The same to you all.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Madam, thank you.